Hi. Today we're going to read a story about a dog, and I have my dog here, and I'm going to try and read her the book too. I don't know how good she's going to listen because she kind of wants to play right now, but it's time for a book, Sophie, and it's called Doug. It's about a dog named Doug. Let's read it. You got to stay here though and listen to the story. Doug bounded over some rocks, scrambled up a hill, and crossed a little stream. The golden retriever was looking for a spot to camp for the night. That's fun. Remember, we used to go camping? Yeah, that used to be fun. Following him were his friends Carl and Russell. Doug had met them in South America when Carl and Russell were on an adventure. Now they were having another adventure. A camp out. It seems like this whole book is about camping. And we used to go camping together too. She liked camping, yes. And my Sophie girl. Around his neck, Doug wore a high-tech collar that helped him speak to humans. Find the spot, he chanted aloud. Suddenly, Doug saw a good place. Point, he shouted. He froze and pointed towards the clearing ahead. It had trees on the sides and a beautiful view across the valley. Wow, that sounds like a fun spot, doesn't it, Sophie? Yeah, you're a good listener. Carl put down their picnic basket. Next to it, he placed a jug of lemonade. Okay, Russell, let's set up those tents of yours, he said. The day had been full of new sights and sounds. Carl, Russell, and Doug had hiked along a trail and climbed to a beautiful overlook. There's a lot of people that are going hiking now, too. But now that the day was over and the sun was setting, Carl and Russell put up tents and unrolled their sleeping bags. They cooked dinner over the campfire, and afterwards they roasted marshmallows. Soon Russell began to yawn. It was bedtime. His eyes half closed, Russell started to walk towards his tent. Oh, are you licking your paw? Well, that's good. You got to turn the page, so. Hey, look at this, Russell shouted. On the ground, just past the campground, was a trail of paw prints. I wonder what kind of animal made these, Carl said, looking at the tracks. I'll check my Wilderness Explorer manual, Russell said, but Carl shook his head. Bedtime, he instructed. I will keep watch all night, Doug exclaimed. Wow, that's going to be a big job, Soph. Yeah, that's a big job. Doug was proud to have such an important job. He was going to be a super watchdog. While Carl and Russell went to bed, Doug sat outside the tents as still as a statue. But wait, what was that by the oak tree? A squirrel. You have a squirrel, your friend Rocky. You like Rocky, yeah. Doug charged toward the tree and tripped over a rope on Russell's tent. Part of the tent collapsed. Doug hung his head. He hadn't meant for that to happen. Doug sank back into his watching spot. He had made one mistake. Suddenly, a bat swooped down over the clearing. Doug jumped up in surprise. He accidentally knocked over the jug of lemonade behind him and spilled it to the ground. Embarrassed, Doug went to stand guard near Carl's tent. Oh no. That happens, doesn't it, Sophie? Do you ever fall asleep when you're watching the house? No, that would never happen. No. Are you sleeping now? Excuse me, please. Excuse me. The story is still going. Okay. Doug watched as the moon traveled across the night sky. Rustle, rustle, rustle. What was that noise? Doug snuck across the clearing, keeping low to the ground. He spotted fresh paw prints in the dirt. Then he saw a shadow near the tree. Something was prowling. Now it was rummaging. Woof, woof, woof. You hear the dog? Woof, woof. Excuse me. Hey, excuse me, I am telling a story here. Wake up. Okay. The intruder turned towards him. It was a raccoon. Sophie, a raccoon. Oh my goodness. Oh, but we don't bite the storyteller. There's no biting of the storyteller. You gotta be nice. Move away from the basket, Doug said. That is our breakfast. The raccoon grabbed a string of sausage in his teeth. Doug took the other end. He tugged. The raccoon tugged. Doug tugged harder. Finally, the raccoon let go. Doug had won. Oh my goodness, thank goodness, Sophie. The raccoon almost ate their breakfast. Do you think that's sad? I think it's sad. Yes. Defeated, the raccoon stamped away. Doug triumphantly carried the sausages back to the picnic basket. They were a little roughed up and dirty. Would you eat dirty sausage? Would you? A couple of leaves were stuck to the slobbery spots, but Carl wouldn't let it go. Carl and Russell wouldn't mind if they still ate him if he had cleaned them off first. Doug was proud of himself. He had spotted the intruder in the dark and scared it away. He had even saved breakfast. He felt like top of the world watchdog. Soon the sky turned to light and the stars began to fade. Doug was very sleepy. His eyes felt so heavy. Kind of like Sophie right now. She's kind of tired. Tired of my story. His ears and nose and tail were so heavy, but he couldn't give up. Staring and starting to be a guard dog now. It was almost morning. Doug put his head down on his paws. He would rest for just a minute and then go back to keeping watch. Resting his head, it felt nice. Maybe he should rest his eyes for a minute, too. It was getting harder and harder to keep them open. Are you sleeping, Toby? I think your eyes are kind of open. Are your eyes open? Doug fell asleep. A few minutes later, Carl came out of the tent. Doug fell asleep, and he no longer slept as much as he used to. Carl looked around the clearing. He noticed Russell's tent and heard the boys still sleeping. He still had the dirty sausages sticking out of the picnic basket and the jug of lemonade on its side. Oh no. Carl sat next to Doug. Doug opened one eye. I found him. The creature that made the paw prints, he said. Yes, I heard you, Carl said. He gave the dog a pat on the head. Good dog, Doug. Good dog. Together, Doug and Carl watched the sun rise over the misty valley. It all ended up a good story. Doug did his job. He scared the raccoon, and he scared away the squirrel. Yeah. Should we sing a song about a dog, Sophie? Let's sing it. You help me sing, all right? How much is that doggy in the window? The one with the waggly tail. How much is that doggy in the window? I do hope that doggy's for sale. I must take a trip to California and leave my poor sweetheart alone. If he has a dog, he won't be lonesome, and the doggy will have a good home. How much is that doggy in the window? The one with the long mangy tail. that doggy in the window? I do hope that doggy's for sale. I read in the papers there are robbers with flashlights that shine in the dark. My love needs a doggy to protect him and scare them away with one bark. How much is that doggy in the window? The one with the long mangy tail. How much is that doggy in the window? I hope that the doggy's for sale. I don't want a bunny or a kitty. I don't want a parrot that talks. I don't want a bowl of little fishies. He can't take a goldfish for a walk. How much is that doggy in the window? The one with the long mangy tail. How much is that doggy in the window? I do hope that doggy's for sale. Well, that's our story and our song from Sophie and Miss Emma. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I hope Sophie wakes up a little bit. She likes it when I sing. Yes. Alright, say bye. Goodbye. Bye, kids. I'll miss you.